The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. It's Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m., coming into that long Memorial Day weekend. Right now, we got markets in slightly red territory. 60 minutes to go until the opening bell. Dow futures negative 104, trading 24,415. S&P futures negative by 13. Trading at 29.55. The NASDAQ futures negative 32 points, trading at 94.53. All of those between about 0.3 and 0.4% in the red. Oil up 64 cents, continuing the power higher, above $34 at 34.13. The 10-year yield 0.67% right now, and we're looking at a gold contract negative by $11.70 at 17.40. Silver backing off 20 cents at 17.82. We'll start things off. We'll start it off with a chart of the S&P. The highs early Tuesday, 29.76. You sell off Tuesday afternoon, but man, oh man, quite a day yesterday. You charge higher, make it up right near 29.75 on a couple occasions, and we've backed off a bit from those levels. You can see we finished the day at about 29. There's your 4 o'clock close, 29.72, and right now trading 29.54 in those S&Ps. Jumping over the charts. We'll start things off with the Dow, 24,410. You zoom in, there's yesterday's action. Yesterday's close at about 24,500 and change. We're about 100 points lower in the Dow, 24,410. You can see we've just kind of been hanging out at this level since about 10 p.m. Eastern time last night. NASDAQ 100. NASDAQ been the strongest index. I mean, it's remarkable. Putting the NASDAQ 100. We talked about this yesterday, whether it was on my program, whether it was on the 10 o'clock show with Tom, the Bull Bear Trading Hour. You back this up on some longer-term context. 97.63, the all-time highs. We're sitting at 94.50. We actually made it up to a high yesterday of 94.98, so you're almost sitting within about 250 points. For some context here, to back things up a bit, and find the beginning of the year for the NASDAQ 100, you're looking at about a 9% gain right now. For the calendar year 2020, you're within about 2 to 3% of all-time highs for the 100 stocks. Comparing that to the S&P 500, where we're basically, I believe we're flirting with about the 618 retracement right now. Yes, we are just climbing above that level, but you can see at about 29.39, 29.40, maybe that number. And we're currently sitting just above it at 29.54. And the Dow, the laggard of the group, the Dow in between that half and 618 retracement, 24,401. Some of the biggest culprits in the Dow. How about Boeing? Talk about clawing back almost none of the collapse, right? You want to see where we are in terms of Boeing's retracement. You're talking about struggling to find a 0.236, let alone all the way up at a half or a 618 would put Boeing at 220 or 250. Boeing dealing with some woes. Checking in on the VIX this morning as we get a little bit of negative market action. Zooming in on the shorter time frame, your VIX 2861, still relatively low volatility. Keep it in mind here, we're coming into a long weekend. Friday, tomorrow, then we get a 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend. And I love doing the program at 8:30 a.m. because as we do it, we get lots of news action. And Thursday, been more exciting than usual with weekly jobless claims. Talk about pegging it, 2.438 million versus 2.4 million, the estimate. That number coming in at 8:30 a.m. The market was looking for 2.4. The peak was 6.9 in late March. Things have basically decelerated from that level. Weekly jobless claims, good to see that number declining, but still 2.5 million on the week in the last 7 days. Jumping over to the S&Ps to see if we've had any reaction in the last 4 minutes on that. We're looking at 15. Let's zoom it in. Let's see. I mean, no real reaction. There's your 830 bar. We're trading a bit lower from 2 points in the S&Ps. Nothing too dramatic. Jumping through the rest of the indices in terms of crude oil, commodities, 34.38. There's your crude acceleration yesterday, the close of action. There's your midnight action in terms of being just under 34. And since that level, now you have July crude trading at 34.37. There's gold pulling back a bit. You see the slide beginning at about 2 p.m. Eastern time. We hit the lows at around 6 a.m. From there, we've traded up almost $10 on gold at 17.41. Excuse me, and there's your euro US dollar back above 110 as we've had some euro strength, dollar weakness. You back this up to see some context to this week. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. early Monday morning, we were at 108. We're now trading 2 full pennies at 110 in the euro US dollar. In terms of what else you have happening, Macy's forecast a first quarter loss of up to $1.1 billion with stores shut from coronavirus outbreak. Macy's not really in a position to be weathering this type of action from the get-go. Macy's says it expects to report an operating loss between $905 million and $1.1 billion compared with a net income of $203 million a year ago. The retailer forecasts first quarter sales to be in the range of $3 to $3.03 billion, down from $5.5. We expect business to recover gradually. Yeah, that is not what you want to hear, folks, because that's, of course, it's going to recover gradually. The world wants it to recover in, an instant V shape we all hear about, right? For some context, though, even a 3-year weekly from 42 to $4 in, August of 18, let alone the drop-off we just had for the COVID-19, which was $17, now flirting at about $5. Let's just see what kind of Fibonacci numbers I have on here. Well, there you go, folks. Talk about an acceleration, and that may just be an ABC to nothing for Macy's. Jumping back to other stocks making news today. There was your Macy's numbers. Best Buy, they're out with their numbers. 67 cents a share for the first quarter, well above the 44 cents a share. Revenue also above forecast. Comp store sales fell by 5.3%, smaller than the forecast of a 10% drop, though. BBY, I guess we'll look at it on a longer. Quite the acceleration. We're going to open a bit lower on their earnings, though. This morning, you see the volatility. We're at about 79.26, and you closed yesterday at 81.54. For some context of where this has been in the last year, talk about some volatility from 92, almost cut in half, to 48. We've almost clawed back the entire loss for Best Buy at 81.54. We're going to open at about 79 on their numbers. BJ's Wholesale, the warehouse retailer, nearly doubled the 37 cents a share consensus estimate, quarterly earnings of 69 cents, revenue well above estimates. These wholesalers, right? You see the whether it's the videos, the lines, so forth, people stocking up. BJ's, Sam's, Costco, the revenue was well above estimates as comp store sales, excluding fuel, surged 27%, quite a number. Digital sales soared 350%. Man, oh man. That is some action. And we're going to open higher. This is where so many winners and losers as this thing happened, right? Market figured out that BJ's and the wholesalers were actually going to benefit pretty quickly. Spiked to 31. Look at that pullback all the way to 21. And we're going to open above 30 today. There's your short-term time frame and the volatility higher. Conference call beginning, I believe, when we came on the air. Yes, 8:30 a.m. BJ's looking to trade higher on some pretty strong numbers. Hormel, the food producer, fell a penny a share short of the forecast. They earned 42 cents a share, revenue slightly above projections, organic net sales growing by 6%. They withdrew their guidance. HRL is their symbol. Hormel shares trading lower at 47.35. Under Armour intends to sell $400 million in convertible senior notes. Under Armour, keep in mind, Under Armour, their CEO stepped down. They're dealing with some financial woes. Be wary of that stock. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come back after the break. And don't forget, we're going to talk about it. Larry Pesavento, a live trading event today on the front page of TFNN.com. It starts at 9 a.m. Larry Pesavento is hosting a special event Thursday, May 21st from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Trade What You See, a live trading event. For the first time in over 10 years, Larry will host a live event where you'll watch over his shoulder as he trades the markets live. You'll see how he organizes his trading day, the times most likely to generate a signal, what outside information he ignores, and more importantly, what he does not ignore, and much more. Larry will trade the markets in real time, including the euro US dollar, pound dollar, dollar yen, the Dow, and E-mini S&P, crude oil, gold, treasury bonds, wheat, and soybeans, and more. When you sign up, you get a month of his daily newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7 included. For all the details on Larry Pesavento's live trading event on Thursday, May 21st, and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We get S&P futures negative by 13, NASDAQ futures negative by 30. Jumping back into that weekly jobless claims number we get at 8:30 a.m. this morning. Market pretty calm, not really reacting. Taking a look at the trend. There's your trend. Weekly claims in 2020 since early March, topping 38 million. You see the trend though, declining. But man, you extrapolate that trend, and we're still dealing with millions and millions of weekly jobless claims. We'll see what happens, but that is not disappearing, and we're not decelerating at a very rapid rate. You could see these numbers be between 1 million and 2. Keeping in mind the biggest totals ever before this were somewhere in the neighborhood of 700,000 weekly jobless claims, and we're now leveling off at something between 1 million to 2 million in the neighborhood for a while, with 38.6 over the last 9 weeks. Speaking of volatility and action, Larry Pesavento, check it out, folks. Still time to sign up. Larry beginning his live trading event today, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Basil Chapman's going to be covering for Larry on Tiger TV, covering his program this morning. But Larry will be in there trading live. Check it out on the front page of TFNN. You get a month of his daily trading newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry will be in there from 9 till noon. We'll take a lunch for a break, 1 till 4. All the 6 hours going to be archived in there, trading live, as he puts it, watching over his shoulder. You'll see how he organizes the trading day, the most likely times to generate a signal throughout the day, what he's looking at, what he's not looking at, and going over the certain signals that he's using, whether it's the advantages of an ABCD, best time of day, the patterns to help identify shifts in supply and demand, the back of the envelope math that helps keep you in the game. Back-tested system is almost useless unless you understand one simple rule. Larry's words, folks. He's going to be in there 9 o'clock. Check it out on the front page of TFNN.com. Still time to sign up for that, and it will all be archived. If you can't attend the whole thing today, you can go back, check it out in there. We got a great turnout. There should be some great interaction in terms of questions, people participating. I'm going to be in there when I'm not doing my shows today, checking it out, following Larry, seeing what's going on. And this market, well, we'll see what happens, that weekly jobless. But check out the S&Ps, folks. You would think we get that number, a little bit of volatility. This is a 15-minute bar. So since that 8:30 number, we're charging higher from 29.52. S&Ps now up at 29.62. We're minus 6 points on the entire session right now in the S&Ps. Jumping back to other equities with action so far this morning. Pulling it up. Under Armour, as we mentioned, they intend to sell $400 million in convertible senior notes. A lot of companies raising cash. We're going to get to the bottom of this list. I go over it thinking about what I'm going to talk about, what people should know about, the news of the day, what's happening, what's moving, what to keep your eyes on. Under Armour, they intend to sell $400 million convertible senior notes, according to the SEC. The sale will be subject to market conditions and other factors. As I mentioned, Under Armour, not a fan of Under Armour right now. You consider the fact that last year, before any of this is going on, you had the CEO step down. 2 weeks later, you find out that there's an actual criminal investigation going on. This stock has dropped from 27. I believe this is when all this is going on. Maybe it was back here, this drop off. Nonetheless, from 27, less than a year ago, we were still at 20 before this. You dropped to 7. We're sitting at about $7.84 on Under Armour. Since I did mention it, let's scroll to the bottom here because it is interesting. So you have all of these companies under pressure announcing stock offerings of various size, raising money. Now I pulled up Flex. They aren't really reacting too much to that news. Not sure what they're coming out with. There's some shorter term, but check out the action in terms of the three here. Ruth Chris, Boston Scientific, Keurig, all of them trading lower, and be aware of this. You know, if you're in companies that might need some cash at any point, you might get diluted right now so that they stay alive, and that might be a necessity. But Ruth Chris almost going to be down $1. 10% you're talking about that stock's going to drop from $9.12 to $8.17 this morning. Boston Scientific, BSX, you closed at $37.18. We're going to open at $35.55. And what was the other? Keurig Dr. Pepper, KDP, dropping as well on that news. Keurig from 27, we're down about $1 to 26.73. Boeing, so they get rated outperform in new coverage at RBC Capital. Bold move by them, putting Boeing in that category. Boeing's going to be around in the long term, folks, but they have some woes in the short term. The firm notes the risk associated with the airline industry in general and uncertainty surrounding the return of Boeing's grounded 737 MAX jet, but said the stock has a favorable risk-reward profile and the company's defense business is undervalued. As I mentioned, we are not going to cede, and you see Boeing trading higher from 133.32 to 136.51. We, as America, are not going to cede the airline production business to one company in terms of Airbus. Not going to happen. We need Boeing on a federal scale, so that is going to happen. But how that ends up for shareholders, watch out, folks. I mean, as I mentioned, we were at 391, even back it up to a 3-year weekly. You've been dealing with woes from 446 down to under 100 at 89. You would have thought that was impossible if I told you that just barely a year ago in February of 19. But nonetheless, Boeing dealing with some woes there. And that, one of the things dragging on the Dow, the biggest laggard in the major indices. MasterCard said it would allow its employees to continue to work from home until their fears of contracting COVID subside. The payment processor said it was re-examining its office footprint, considering consolidation. Tom sent me an article from the Bloomberg a couple days ago. JP Morgan, they're going to basically be at 50% for a while. You're going to see a lot of changes in this industry in terms of working remotely. Canada Goose laying off 125 workers. The luxury outerwear maker says taking steps to cope with the impact of COVID-19. Let's check out how Goose shares. Now, this is super long-term. Talk about some woes. But this morning, pretty unchanged. 21.19 yesterday. The high was at about 20.30. Schlumberger will reshuffle its top executives, according to a memo written by the CEO. The oil field services company will also consolidate 17 product lines into 4 divisions. Now, no matter how you deal with this, folks, it is a tough woe to figure out how to be profitable in the oil services business when oil goes to negative prices at one point from 40 to 11, but we're sitting at about 18.21. This is a consolidation down here. We'll see which way we go, but not really a bid when you've been floating around at this level since March 9th. AstraZeneca, so this is a decent story, struck a supply agreements for its COVID-19 vaccine candidate currently in joint development with the University of Oxford. Astra, I believe they're also going to get $1 billion, I believe, from the U.S. government in pursuit of their vaccine. Big numbers there for sure. Take-Two Interactive. They beat sales expectations by a wide margin. Interactive gaming, right? Thanks to a surge in video game activity and nationwide stay-at-home orders. Company said its games, including the popular NBA 2K and GTA, Grand Theft Auto franchises, performed better than expected. T2 is their symbol. And look at that pop from 100 on the collapse. And this is where it was remarkable. I was talking to a friend yesterday and just explaining how, when people have fear, they sell everything. Tom's talked about it many times. Gold gets sold off. You see the volatility on their earnings all the way up to 159. We're back to 143 from that conference call. But longer term, just remarkable how, if you had the cash, you had the know-how, and you were able to withstand in the long term, everything got sold here. There's your February sell-off from 127 down to 100. And just like that, we're going to open at 142 even with that news. Remarkable turnaround. And how about we'll check out on Amazon as we come to the break. Yesterday, new all-time high. Listening to Tom's program, they got that tick. It was at 2,500, 2,501 penny. This morning, we're going to open even higher at 2,505. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get the competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back to everybody. Excuse me, I'm jumping over stories. We get S&P's negative by 8. Jump into a final couple stories. Expedia with their numbers, revenue falling 15%. Travel obviously decimated by the coronavirus pandemic. We're just going to jump over to their chart briefly before we get into Disney for a moment. Expedia shares a bit higher, 83.10 on their earnings last night from 79.58 at the close. Disney shares. Disney traded higher yesterday. You see the pop intraday beginning at about 2:45 p.m. Eastern time. The story breaks breaks and jumping to the headline. This is just an example, folks. So the headline was that a local station had reported Disney World, Universal, and SeaWorld plan to introduce reopening plans tomorrow. And then the story breaks later that Disney said they're not going to do that. So there's your headline after earlier local report about theme park reopening proposals that sent Disney, Comcast, SeaWorld higher. Disney tells CNBC it's not presenting a reopening proposal to Florida officials tomorrow. So although Universal will present their reopening plans to Orange County Economic Recovery Task Force on Thursday, today, Disney will not. And then you have, despite Disney's denial that they will be submitting the plans, Mayor Jerry Deming stated at his afternoon press conference that he anticipates receiving plans from all amusement parks by tomorrow afternoon, meaning today. So there you have it there. After Universal does submit, the mayor will review the plans, 12 to 24 hours. They need to be signed off by the mayor before they can be submitted to the governor. The county will do site visits. Seems like they're going to be marching forward because you traded higher. You do see a pullback when the story was maybe denied, but we're still sitting right at about 120. The market figured out that's coming down the line right now, whether it's coming down the line immediately or in a couple days. Folks, don't forget, Larry Pesavento, front page of TFNN. He's going to be starting in the next few minutes. Still time to sign up. Live trading event. Check it out, folks. It should be a great day in the markets. We get some volatility. Weekly jobless claims continuing at a big number, 2+ million. Should be an exciting day in the markets. Stay tuned, folks. I would say Larry Pesavento coming up at 9 o'clock, but we got Basil Chapman in the saddle for Larry. Larry's doing his live trading event. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.